Hi everyone, Dr. Lisa Palmer, Dr. Mama Bear, coming to you live from Florida on mold, menopause, and magnificent results. I was talking to a new friend today, and she was asking me about mold and if I knew about mold and what we did about mold and is mold a problem? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, here in Florida and a lot of other states, including dry states like Arizona and Idaho. Arizona, we have a client in Arizona, and working on her, I realized that there actually valley fever is a mold spore problem. So just because it's dry doesn't mean that they don't have mold. And in Florida, we have mold. We just, unfortunately, last summer we had at least four hurricanes come through our state. Four directly impacted us. Luckily, they weren't direct impacts, but they in our area, but there definitely was a lot of wind. And then recently, about a month ago now, no, 2 months ago now, a tornado hit our house, and so some tiles are missing, and we have a tarp on our roof right now. And so mold is a problem. Mold can be a problem from compromised roof, a hurricane, a tornado, branches. You want to make sure that branches. Those of you that do live in Florida, hurricane season is coming. You want to make sure there's no branches over your roof, because any potential branches can fall during a hurricane and damage your roof. And that is bad news. Before we got our commercial building where we have our office, Palmer Natural Health, in 2004, I believe it was Hurricane Charlie came through, and they had a tree over the roof, and the tree came through the kitchen. And so the good news is when I purchased the building, the roof was done, the kitchen was done, everything was redone. But unfortunately, the previous owners suffered a lot of damage. And so if you have a compromised roof, you can, even from snow and ice, you can have water coming in, and that can negatively affect your environment, causing mold. If you have those of you that have basements oftentimes have leaks. So you have those sump pumps that keep the moisture out of the basement. Um, you can have water leaks from showers or water leaks from bathrooms, which can cause mold. And so, mold, guys, isn't going away, right? To find a house with absolutely zero mold spores would be pretty impossible because mold is in our environment. But what ends up happening though is when someone has an exposure to mold, and maybe you have this and your physiology is not good at detoxification. Now, why would someone's physiology be not good at detoxification? Well, on the right side of your body is your liver, and your liver is like a big filter that needs to filter out environmental toxins, filter out things in your environment like pollen or mold or things that you eat like peanuts or dairy or those kinds of things. So when someone tells me they have multiple food sensitivities, I understand because I was there too. And the reason I was there was that my liver was toxic. If you think of a bucket, and your liver, the toxicity amount is represented in the bucket. If your bucket is half full, you're still filtering with the other half. If it's three-quarters full, well, then you have less filtration available. And if the toxins are falling out of your bucket, and that bucket, it represents the ability of your liver to detox, now you have a lot of toxicities. What does that look like? It may look like acne on the skin. It may look like pimples on the back. It may look like eczema on the arms or the legs. It may look like problems with digesting fats. And so the liver is like our big filtration system. It's like an AC filter. It is like a filter in your sink. And when it gets really, really clogged, it can't do its job. One of its other jobs is it breaks down hormones. And so if you have mold exposure, mold will increase estrogen. Too much estrogen in a female body can cause breast cancer, cervical cancer, ovarian cancer, thyroid cancer. Too much estrogen in a male body can cause man boobs. It can cause low testosterone. It can cause problems with the shape of, I'm trying to say this in a coded way, shape of the swimmers, right? And so that can lead to infertility, and it all can be due to mold. But mold isn't the horrible, awful, bad guy. Yeah, it's bad, right? But it can be due to the liver being toxic, the liver being clogged, the liver being too exposed to pollutants in the air we breathe, And by air we breathe, I don't just mean air, outside air, right? I mean, what does your home air look like? Do you change here in Florida, do you change your air conditioning filter? Do you have any houseplants that are giving off oxygen and taking in carbon dioxide and filtering in mold and different things that get particles in our air? Do you have any filtration in your house? Do you use candles? Do you use plugins? Do you spray scented? I'm trying to keep brand names out of this. Do you spray scented things all over your house? Right. Um, I used to have plugins. I used to think plugins smelled great. I liked that clean smell. Do you use dryer sheets? Right. So that's all environmental chemicals in the air we breathe. And then we have our water supply. Oh my goodness. I had a patient, he worked for Seminole County. I mean, he worked for a county water supply, and he would tell me they would do burns. And I'm like, what do you mean you did burns? Burns sound like fire, like you're with water. And he said, yeah, well, a burn is when you turn up certain chemicals in the city water supply. I'm like, well, why do you do that? And he's like, I don't even know. I guess we just have too much chemicals and we have to let them go. So chemicals in the water are good. Hear me out. Don't freak out. I mean, they're good because they're getting rid of harmful, awful bacteria that can really, really make you sick. They're bad because chlorine will weaken the thyroid, and that can lead to weight gain. And that can lead to fatigue. That can lead to problems with menstrual cycles. That can lead to hormonal imbalances. That can lead to menopausal symptoms, right? But bacteria in the water can kill you, right? If you want to know the quality of your water, you can go to ewg.org, environmentalworkinggroup.org. It's not a perfect website, but you can look up your county's water and you can look up what's in the county's water. And so I've been teaching this for years, and every now and then I look at my county's water and I look at other places I've lived. Like I was born in Miami, so I look up my county in Miami, Dade County water, and I look up and I would see now there's a button on that site that says other toxins. And by other toxins, it tells you if there's antidepressants, it tells you if there's hormones, it tells you other stuff that's in the water supply. And one of the reasons why you may be having menopausal symptoms, one of the reasons why you might have issues with fertility, one of the reasons why you might have horrible periods and cramps and bloating and weight gain and all this stuff is because there's toxicity in our water supply. So in the water that we drink, in the water that we bathe in the water we wash our clothes in, the water that we utilize in our houses, if you're on city water, has a high load of chemicals. Now, I live in an area that has a well, and I'm on a well on purpose, but it doesn't mean my water is perfect either, right? Where I used to live, there was orange groves. So they sprayed the orange groves, and so pesticides can seep into my water supply. And so our air is polluted, our water is polluted. Are you depressed yet? Our food is polluted, right? Some of it I wouldn't even call food when it has red dye this and yellow dye that, when it has all these fake sweeteners, when it has high fructose corn syrup, when it has bleach flour. And so the body doesn't know what to do with that when it's sprayed with pesticides and herbicides, when it's sprayed with glyphosate, which weakens cartilage and also has been known to cause non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And so it is a messy world out there. So I'm not telling you all this stuff to depress you. I'm not telling you all this stuff to like make you go live in plastic bubble, like a bubble boy, but then that would be chemicals too, right? But I am telling you, like, hey, if you're experiencing a symptom, you can label that a condition, you can label that a disease, but let's look for the cause. And oftentimes it's linked to a toxin, and there's things that you can do to detox. Now, the problem with detox, and I was telling this lady that I met today, is that not everybody is healthy enough to detox. So say your liver is super, super clogged, and say you are exhausted all the time. You wake up tired, you drag your butt through the day. If you sit down for a second, you fall asleep. You may be a person that we can't start you a detox. You may be a person that we just have to kind of strengthen some of your organs and glands. How do we do that? Now, we don't cut out the glands. We do that by giving the body fuel, giving the body, I would dare to say, replacement parts, giving the body specific nutrients, specific whole food glandulars, not bioidentical hormones, to rebuild, repair, replenish those organs and glands. And as those organs and glands function better, they're going to optimize your body function. And then your body may be able to do a detox. Your body may be able to handle, if it has too much mold exposure, handle the detoxification of mold. If your body is balanced, your hormones are balanced, then menopause just means menses stop. It means the period stops. It doesn't mean hot flashes. It doesn't mean low libido. It doesn't mean dryness. It doesn't mean any of that stuff. It doesn't mean weight gain. It just means menses stop. If you have those other symptoms, it means something's not balanced. And so what we do at my office, Palmer Natural Health, is we look for the cause of your problems. We look to, do we start with repairing your organs and glands? Do we start with detox? Do we start with suggestions and lifestyle? Where do we start with the quantum nutrition testing? We do a 30-minute consultation. We grab a whole bunch of your information to see what is happening. Most of our clients say it's the most thorough consultation they've ever had in their whole entire life. We take that data, we quantum nutrition test with technology that data. We put together a report for you and we say, hey, this is what we found. This is how we rebalance the system. This is what it costs. This is the results that we get. This is what our expectations are. And if you're in agreement, then we get you going. And the reason why we get failed cases from different facilities like the Mayo Clinic or the Cleveland Clinic or university hospitals or local hospitals is because those doctors are very, very good at running their diagnostics. They're very, very good at running special tests. They're good at what I would say conventional medicine. But unfortunately, there's some cases like yours that slide through the cracks and they can't find out what the reason is. And so then they start to go to weird solutions. And the weird solutions are they'll prescribe an antidepressant because no one ever has come into my office and said, I'm so happy, I feel horrible. That would be weird, right? And so they can't find the cause of the problem. They notice that the patient is depressed because they're sad because they don't feel good. And they prescribe an antidepressant, which has the side effect of depression, aggression, suicidal thoughts, and so on. So I don't want that to be you. Maybe it's already you. But if you are suffering, there is hope. There's a cause to your problems. It just means someone hasn't found it. And we're really, really good at finding it. Hi, Bean. We're really, really good at locating what the cause is and then at not giving medications that have side effects because all medications, even over the counter medications, have side effects. But instead, supporting the body, repairing the body, replenishing the body with minerals and whole food supplements and detoxing when we need to and when the body can do that. And so I am so excited to help you. I want you to have magnificent results. I want you to live your best life. I want you to feel super happy and healthy. And if my team at Palmer Natural Health can help you in any way, please let me know. I'm Dr. Lisa Palmer, Dr. Mama Bear. Good night, everyone.